All right, so first of all, who is Randy Hagemoser? Just tell us about yourself.
I'm a bowler. That's what I am since I was 5. I love bowling. I'm in a bowling alley 7 days a week at this point. I am who I am when it comes to that. I'm a great guy, in my opinion.
Hey,
Ask around it. Uncle Rel. Ask around. Figure out who I am that way. I mean, I don't know. I never know what to tell you when it comes to who I am. I mean, I love being in a good mood all the time. I mean, it's hard to find me in a bad mood. I love playing video games when I'm not, I love being home with my family. Kid games. Fortnite is my favorite.
Oh, wow.
I'll play some Warzone.
Yeah.
Call of Duties have always been a thing. Sports games, I love, PGA. The bowling game's not bad. The new PBA ones aren't terrible. They could be better, but only Rhode Islander to win NEBA Bowler of the Year. I like to point that out. Always like to point that out. I got that on me.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's who it is.
Good stuff, man. Let's talk about that NEBA Bowler of the Year. Take us through that year. What your process was.
So the good thing is, I mean, it was COVID year. They combined the season before that only had about 3 tournaments with the season when we all came back to having we had to wear masks all the time and stuff. But I didn't care. I wanted to bowl. I had 6 months of not being in a bowling center for the longest time. Yeah. I went to every tournament and I made top 8 like 6 or 7 times. The patterns they tried to make them softer that year, so they played pretty well for my A game of standing right, throwing it left, opening my angles up. Now, I mean, it was the same year I was lucky enough to get my first title with Jalen, which was awesome. I mean, he carried me in qualifying, but then we game planned for match play, and my game plan was to bring a reactive resin, because urethane was what's going on the lane. And I'm still, even now, after throwing a lot of urethane, I'm not a fan. I'd rather figure out how to throw reactive. But I drilled a 1-inch pin, solid symmetrical axiom solid, that gave me the world in match play. I mean, I could yank it and it just shimmed. I get to the friction, it came off hard. And I don't think I probably averaged 9.4 pins for my first strike ball. Yeah, exactly. So it was a good thing. And then, like I said, just bowled every single one. I mean, it still came, and it's funny because I bowled that many. I had, like I said, 6 or 7 top 8s. It came down to the last tournament. I still had Chris Vialli up my ass. I still had Aaron Major was still right there. And they all needed to do something. Like Chris, I think, needed to finish top 8, ended up losing in the round of 16 to Jesse Gibson. Aaron missed cut. Alex could have caught me. He didn't even bowl, so he even said to me at the tournament before, he's like, "Congratulations, it's yours." And I'm like, "Oh, so you're not bowling?" And no, he's not. So yeah, I mean, it was a good year of, like, because I think a lot of people weren't bowling because of the COVID and everything like that, and I was like, I didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna bowl, and I did well, and it worked out in the end. And then since then, it's been kind of on the downswing, my game, because I'm trying to change a lot because I want to go to the next level. I want to bowl on tour. I've bowled a couple regionals since, and the patterns are harder, and my game just requires me to always kind of move away from the pocket, throw it away from the pocket, move in, throw left, and I'm trying my best to keep it in front of me, and that's been the hardest thing, is trying to adjust to that.
I bet. Well, it did work out for you. I remember you have Masters title in the past, right?
Correct.
Title?
Yep.
So.
Yep. And doing that was kind of the same. I got lucky enough bowling at Old Mountain, which is kind of a lefty house, where playing on both the short, medium, and long, I was kind of able to just kind of shim the track, 10 the whole time, throwing either urethane on short. I threw my promotion on medium and long, and it was really good. And I got lucky. Bad breaks, good breaks. Good breaks for me, bad breaks for my opponents. Things like that.
And then you've been in strike effects for a while now.
20 years.
Career. Yeah, 20 years.
Yep.
Take us through that.
I met John senior year in high school through a mutual friend, Chris. Obviously, everybody knows Paige. He brought me up here. I met John the first day I met him. I asked for, what he needed help with, if he even needed help, and he took me under his wing. And I learned in my whole senior year I spent with him learning, and, finally started working part-time for 16 years. Did my own thing outside the bowling world, got my degree, started working in the sales industry, I went to CCRI, I got my associate. I finished that. I had to get a full-time job. So I went and I was managing Verizon stores a couple years. And then John, after winning his national title, was like, I'm not in the shop as much. I need a reliable full-time guy, and I know you know your stuff. So I was like, yeah, I've been doing it long enough. So we agreed, on a certain salary to get me to come do this full time, and now it's been 7+ years of doing this full time, and it's been really, really good.
All right, we gotta get back to the second squad.
Let me know. We can do more.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Wait, I was gonna ask one more question.
Yeah, ask away.
When you getting that haircut?
Great question. Never.
Never? So you decided
Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I want to grow it.
Get the
I do
man
need to
bun
trim it
going.
though, because I need this and the sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had known I was going to do this today, I would have gave it at least a good cut.
Yeah.
Not getting rid of the bun though. I like the bun.
So anyway, Randy Hagemoser, thanks so much for doing this, and yeah,
Thanks,
good luck.
Maddie.
Yeah.